Hello and welcome to the Kobold Cafe. We're playing the Frozen Gods. I'm Luke, the GM. We have got Jared.
Hey, I'm Jared. I am playing Eric. Um, Eric doesn't know what's quite gonna happen because they've been somehow separated from the others.
Correct. And we've got Everoth.
Hello, I am Meveroth. Today playing for you Botchet Miodovet, who has been turned into a man bear.
That's fairly true. Well, last week didn't see Eric or Botchet at all, and it may have seemed like the end of things, but we need to know what happened to Botchet and Eric. So, last you recall, you made it to the top of Thanato, uh, fairly knackered from the climb. All year on low FP. A guard of a toonie was set for the night as camp was built up just 100 metres or so away from the edge of that grove, under the reflection from the giant silver dewdrop that's suspended about 10 metres above the trees. At its base, it's 50 metres across. The thing is huge. Anne, could I get a HT roll -3 from both of you, please?
Of course. Sorry, still loading.
No worries. I do not expect you to succeed, honestly.
It's like 40% chance.
Yeah, the numbers are not popping up on my sheet.
No numbers. That's a new
Yeah,
one.
no. It's the same as always. I see bio, info, and attributes, but when I go in character sheet, it's all white. Do you see anything?
Oh, yeah, it's all there for me.
Did I lost control of my character? Maybe?
No, you've still got control.
Try reloading. Roll 20.
Oh, okay. Should take me a moment.
So a peaceful night of sleep. At least for Eric.
Here we go. HT -2.
Yeah, that checks out. So, Eric, you awaken to the sound of birds whistling. You are feeling awfully comfortable. And it maybe takes you a moment or two to realise that you are laid in bed.
Which is wrong because I was like in a sleeping bag or something.
Correct. You're indoors. You're no longer in a tent. The birds you hear outside the window are familiar, northern types. The sun gently gleaming in, illuminating a few motes of dust.
Is it a familiar room?
Yeah, I think so. Is this somewhere in particular? You must have got permanent lodgings in Salt Dock.
Probably, and probably some sort of frequent room in an inn
Mm,
somewhere up in the Frostvale as well.
I feel like the inn is more appropriate.
All right. Eric will look around and see if his stuff that he remembered was still here.
Um, most of your possessions are, though you can't see the new things that have been acquired.
He'll check for his new stone, the one that improves his hearing.
nowhere to be seen.
He'll check for a letter from King Tilfred recalling him to court, which he which he got rid of after a while ago, but would have received when he was here.
Yeah, that is there. You have indeed got a letter from King Tilfred. There's a knock at your door. And it'll creak open gently and someone will say, "Breakfast, my lord?"
All right, I'll be a minute.
Very good, sir.
How do the last few months feel?
Like a dream. You're already kind of forgetting parts of them.
Still remembering a few weird things, like this weird woman from a mountain.
Correct.
Eric will go have breakfast. Were his were his mercenaries staying at the inn as well?
You believe so, as the majority of them are sat around a table as you make your way down the stairs. Salako, Chalve, Cedric are all sat around one of the long, rough tables, munching down on bread and ale.
Good morning.
Chalva nods silently. Salako and Cedric, bash the tankards against table. "Morning, Captain."
I've received a letter
Of course.
recalling me and you to Salt Dock. It appears King Tilfred has other plans at this moment.
Cedric, chews his food a bit in corner of his mouth, says, "Back to the city."
I don't know why he's recalling me at this time. Perhaps it will just be for a short while, perhaps longer. But once it is over, we can return here and see what there is to find.
Salako nods enthusiastically, his mouth full of bacon. And Jan and Sinan are approaching from across the way and join at the table. Floorboards creaking under Jan's big heavy feet. And Sinan slipping down and muttering hello to everyone.
Eric will tell them the news.
They both nod. But then Jan says, "Shouldn't we be heading north? You remember?"
I might not be fully awake yet. Please remind me.
There are things you want to get. There were things you knew about, remember?
Is that jogging a memory?
It does significantly, yes.
A memory of something he originally intended to get? Or a memory of things that he found in his dream?
A memory of things you found in your dream.
I see through you, Luke, and I like it.
I'm glad.
Yes, well, perhaps. Perhaps the letter arrived a few days later. Don't want to postpone this and find out that we're being sent all the way back to the homeland.
Sinan speaks up. There's much to be had in these mountains. It would be a shame to leave them for so long when we're so close.
All right, finish eating and gear up. We're heading north.
They nod in agreement. Meanwhile, outside this inn, a short ways off, in a little copse of trees, I should point out it's kind of late summer, is the general feeling. Maybe the date on that letter. But Botchet, you find yourself waking up in your tent, the kind you used to carry around on your cart, pulled by a donkey. Donkey. And you suddenly feel just like a rush of relief as your eyes open. Because you realise that your legs are there and working.
I wake up, I put my hand on my head, and I try to remember. Because this seems strange. Almost as if I shouldn't have it. So I'm not sure if I am missing a memory or something. So I'm gonna try and think hard about it.
Yeah, I don't even need a roll. You recall everything. But based on your position now, it feels like it must have been a dream. But it was the most intense and vivid and longest dream of your life.
I stumbled a day just doing my chores while what Budget keeps thinking about if it was actually true, if this is not just the delusion dreams of a old man that is just waiting to die, and he's just I guess he's just doing his own things while he picks up one of the yards and he just starts it's summer, right?
Yeah, late summer.
So he's at the place where he has the bees, and he's just like taking the the little pieces of wood where you just scrape all the honey, and he opens one up just to realize it has some of the. I'm not sure if you want it to be alchemist fire or you want it to be med or
It'd probably
the
just be
healing
mead.
stuff. So he gets to meet and gets a taste, and the memory, the whole thing just reminds him of all the adventure, all the times he shared it with everyone, all the times he was hard at work healing everyone, and a tear just kind of like drops on Botch's cheek. After that, he just looks at it and looks at the mountain, thinking maybe there is one more trip he should make.
Mm-hmm. You do hear hooves coming up the road. You turn and look and see a trail of horses, soldiers, and one of them you would recognise as being Eric. Eric, likewise, you'd come around the corner and see Botchet tending some bees at the side of the road in this little meadow that you're riding past.
Botchet would bow politely and say, "Good day, my lord," as he is not even sure if he is recalled.
Eric will continue running past, but like fix his gaze on Botchet. So it's just like turning his head the whole time while riding past. Like he's having the weirdest feeling deja vu.
Mm-hmm. Would you be riding at the head of the party or kind of like around the middle?
Um, uh, he would be second. Cedric would be first.
Okay. So as you turn in your head to watch Botchet, you don't kind of notice as your horse goes around Cedric's because Cedric has stopped in the middle of the road. And once you've got a 5 meters or so further on, you'd realize that all of the white cloaks have stopped in the road alongside Botchet. They're all looking at him except for Jan, who's looking back at you.
Butch is just gonna
Is,
look a little bit surprised and just nod politely at the man as he just tends to his business.
is something the matter?
You don't remember?
Remember who you are. You are my son, the one true king. Yeah, Eric looked kind of confusedly.
He reaches under his cloak and produces the stone, the one that helps you hear better. What about this?
What is happening? It's just been Jan who's mentioned things from his dream, right?
Yeah, the others have been acting fairly normal for themselves. Maybe a bit too normal for themselves. This isn't really how Jan normally acts either. He's normally just a quiet type. But he's very talkative, it seems.
Solico, what do you make of that man?
He's staring at Botchet as you say it. Then he'll turn and look at you and he's like, "Oi, beekeeper, old. Do you not recognize him, sir?"
Do you?
He grins. Roll me vision, please. Or body language if you've got it. I'll take that as well. Whichever you prefer, that's better. Success by 4. Something changes in his expression. You can't quite make it out, but it's like there's a flicker just before he started talking. Like he blinked an extra time, or there was a twitch. Nothing that you could really make out, but still something that jarred his words.
What is your name, old man?
Sorry, my lord. Sorry, my lord. My name is Botchet Miodabel. I just served it. Would you care for the drink?
Does that trigger stuff?
Absolutely. It's the dream is entirely back. botch it, everything.
I know you, but we haven't met yet.
You do, my lord. Perhaps a long, long time ago. And he looks at you and then smiles and says, perhaps when you were younger.
Do you not know me?
Lately, I thought I had a dream. I'm figuring if it was real. Everything just, well, doesn't fit. And he's
Is
kind of like,
Botchit standing on his legs?
that's what he's looking at his legs when he says it doesn't fit.
Oh, okay, that's perfect then. So as you look down at your legs, they kind of crumple underneath you. You feel
Well,
no pain, but you drop to your knees and then your belly. As you roll over, there's a buzzing. And bees are emerging from the legs of your trousers.
Who of my men is the closest to Botchit?
Chalva right now.
Tialva, stand back.
He, pulls on the reins and takes 2 clippity clops to the side. His expression doesn't change. Him and all the others aside from Yan, including Salako, have gone back to just staring at Botchit. Blank smiles on the faces. Yan's still staring at you, Eric, and he says again, or he says for the first time this time, give me a second to not be a numbnuts. That's not what he says, lol.
my lord, I'm
The
being too much
words.
of a
The
number.
words are.
The words are, it is not safe to play with what you don't know. But I feel both of you would like to know more than your companions. And he's pointing up in the sky behind your head, Eric. Botchit, you follow his point as well. And suspended, almost crucified, but they look more peaceful and like they're sleeping. You see Archibald, Katya, and Etho dangling in the air.
You are the librarian. When you asked what we would do with all the knowledge, I said I could not know until I had it.
But you seem like you would seek it. Your friends would not. Archie kinda drifts forward slightly from the other two. This one rejects knowledge, and he fades. And Etho is drawn forwards, and he says, this one sought only to survive. And this one felt they had important things left to do. And Katya drifts forward and then fades as well. But both of you, I think, deserve answers, says Jan. Except it's no longer Jan. And none of you are on horses anymore. And Botch It, your legs are back again and you stood up at the side of the road as if nothing's happened.
I'll try to stay close to him as we try to figure out how with Eric as we try to figure this out. So
Alright, that's the first answer. That one, yes. Answer that one.
Answer which one? Sorry?
Budget said, so this is a dream.
The person nods slowly. I could wake you up. I would ask you to not be alarmed. Are you ready?
Alright.
And Butcher, did you just give like a kind of anime nod?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. You both blink and you are suddenly surrounded by bright, gentle whiteness. Is dynamic lighting on this map?
Yep.
So, the first thing you feel is that you are incredibly comfortable. You are inclined, sort of laid down as if you're in a business class airline seat. Except the seat that you're
Eric
in.
can relate to that.
The seat that you're in is made from the floor. It's as if a vacuum-formed sofa, Shailong, is emerged from the floor and you are reposed in it. And it contours perfectly to your every shape, such that your surface is spread across it so evenly that you feel like you're floating.
That was the dream, not this.
As you start to stir and say that aloud, you feel yourself being propelled upwards and forwards. The chair is raising to stand you up and pushing the both of you forwards. And as it does so, the wall in front of you forms an iris just large enough to let you through. Again, completely seamlessly, like cream parting in a bowl. And you find yourselves stood up in a huge, almost spherical room, though the floor and ceiling are flattened somewhat to make it more of a torus. Again, every surface is perfect, smooth whiteness. And before you stand two individuals who don't quite look like anyone you've ever seen before. They're both easily 6'4". The shorter one, the one who Jan transformed into while they were speaking to you, is 6'4". The taller one is maybe 6'7". They're very slim and slender. And the clothes that they're wearing look a lot like... They are indeed semi-giants. Yeah. The clothes that they're wearing bear a strong resemblance to that cloak that you took, Eric. The material and fabric.
You are Tove.
Yes. My name is Platt. This is my mother, Peric.
abducted us from our camp in the night?
We did. We are sorry. We came with another. And someone kind of flickers into appearance and steps forward, but then fades and disappears again before they reach the front. Dio. He is no longer with us. Your friends have left.
Where? Oh,
Ar-
sorry.
Archibald is descending the mountain as we speak. The floor suddenly disappears. It probably scares the bejesus out of both of you for a second, but it's actually still there. It's just become completely crystal clear glass, like perfect ice above a lake. And you can see the grove from above. Directly below you, there are a pair of bodies, as well as a small fire. And over at the far rim, you can see a camp of King's men dismantling and starting to descend.
What is happening?
Archibald has convinced them to leave. It is not safe for us to do so. In this, the gesture around. Until they are gone, our departure will be as violent as our arrival was. And it would be harmful to those here.
You just arrived. Why are you leaving?
Your home, this world, is only a way station for us. We are on a longer journey. You may be interested to know that your gods are no more. Arete, Technicae, they no longer exist. We are refugees. The last remnants of a war that has consumed two divine beings.
I hope you didn't say it so bluntly to Archibald.
They kind of share a look. They're like, it may have contributed to his leaving so abruptly. But also, our companion Dio did not want to be so cordial and forward with you. Based on your dreams, which we were watching, you two are different from your friends.
Well, only one of us has had his legs turn into literal bees.
Second question. What's up with that?
It is an ancient and strong magic. You are not aware of it? Peric's
No.
token. You have been in control of it for some time. But you failed it, or it failed you. We can help, but you'd need to come with us. What attachments do you both have to this place? And they gesture. The walls have completely disappeared now as well. All four of you are just stood, floating 20 meters above the top of the trees.
Botchet starts thinking and he smiles as he says, if the life that I lived there was true, then the wife that I had is no longer in this world. And the sons and daughters that I had have lived their life and continue to do so. In this world, there is nothing keeping me any other than my most recent family. I have to say, I have never felt more alive than when I was with E2, Archibald, with Ikathia, and with you, Eric. And I thank you all for it. I would like to go, but I cannot leave my family behind. I need to find a way to help them, especially Ito.
They both nod. We can return you to them. The Atuni are aboard also still. You can be returned to Etho when we return them. Would this be okay with you?
Not enough. Is there a way that you know that I can help them? They seem to have suffered enough. If you want my arms for it, I have nothing but them left.
They both raise their eyebrows and they're like, no.
Sorry, old man jokes.
And you? The
You
fox?
say we are on board your ship.
This is...
Yeah. You sail through the stars.
It is true. You may be able to return here, but all these people, everyone will be long dead. You would not be able to return in any of their lifetimes. But to come with us, and then Platt was looking at his mum, and they shake their head a bit. I should also point out, neither of you are entirely sure of the gender of either of these two. They're both definitely very feminine looking, but they could also both still be men, you're just not 100% sure.
My great grandfather lived an incredible life. Apparently, embarking on part of the journey that created the giants. I assume his journey was worth it for him.
His memories are...
I am not.
Go on, sorry.
I am not heir to lands. Anything I acquire, I have to carve out of my own. And so I have come north to where there are secrets yet to be discovered. You are offering to show me all of these secrets?
They both nod. And more. But it will be difficult. This we cannot deny. But the rewards will be beyond your imagination. Even to to take up the life of a refugee as we have.
I wander alone or in a small group of companions through a frigid wasteland, searching for what I suppose you left behind. It seems somewhat of an upgrade to travel with those who left such wonders behind.
And it
But
seems...
why?
But...
Why are you doing any of this?
we need you. On this boat, there were only 3 of us. Now there are only 2. It can crew itself. But we cannot survive as 2. We need a 3rd. Further, that any of you are here, gestures down to the cities you can see in the distance, the smoke coming from camps down in the valleys. Oh yeah, I should also point out, off to the west, you can see smoke rising violently in a huge billowing cloud from the mountain where you'd collected the objects, the one that got bashed. Off to the east, way off to the east, Eric, you see it immediately as being Sir Wyatt Van's holdings. Let me just show you here. Another well-known Tove ruin. That one is also smoking in the same manner. Huge billowing clouds of dark ash rising out of the mountain and scar in the sky in a huge long trail where the wind's blown it.
What is happening there?
This was Dio's decision. We nearly killed you when we did it over there. We knew of the caches, the supplies. When we first arrived, we did not know if there were any other Tove left, if any other Tove had come in the recent history. We received communication from the library. We managed to intercept signals from here. We received word from here when we landed that people had been around. We knew there was interference from other Tove. But we did not know until you set up your camps last night. The true nature of your existence. We thought you may be other refugees or warriors. Dio was paranoid, terrified. He was sure we would be killed. Knowing of the caches of these most deadly of our artifacts, he ordered the artillery, and these locations were destroyed.
I see. And you came here in the hopes that you might find someone able to climb up the mountain and find you.
We came here in the hopes that someone would already be atop the mountain. And then we had hopes that no one would come at all.
And then this bastard showed up.
Just,
The bastard says.
yep. And then you all arrived. And Dio could take it no longer. And your friend Archibald killed him. His body's a gruesome sight as well. The head's been split from top of the skull to base of the neck. As you can see, though we are not mortal, we are still yet frail. And the blade your friend wielded is perhaps the most powerful item on this world. That sword was wielded by another for almost 100 years before him. And we see that he will probably wield it for 100 years going forward. You may have heard of a woman here at this mountain. She was much like the librarian you met, though corrupted and broken. She fell in love with the one who first held that sword, and she gave it to him, granted him knowledge. Knowledge that we shall give you, Eric.
And I see no reason to delay. Botchett wishes to look over the others, but I shall go with you wherever this journey may lead.
They both look to you, Botchett. Is there anything you need before we send you on your way?
Apart from how to help the Tuni, I can't think of anything right now.
They just nod. They say, "The librarian will teach you. We're sending you there." And then you have been kind of held aloft, as if you were standing by the floor in this room. When the bed pushed you out of that one, you kind of being cradled, and it now pulls you back into that room. Eric, as he goes through it, he just disappears into nothing. But then you suddenly see a whole host of silvery droplets emerge out of nothingness on the outside of this larger one that you are in. Each one barely bigger than a person, but each one clearly containing either an Atuni or a Botchet, or perhaps a porter for Lady Katya. And they begin accelerating, suspended as if by invisible wires, and head west down towards the library. You feel a chair appearing behind you. another sitting implement rising out of the floor to meet you in this perfectly white spherical room. The same's happened for both of these.
Is it like the bridge of a TV spaceship?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
It arranges the
Well,
chairs into like a formation where you're all actually kind of facing each other though. And again, all the
if I am
furniture
to
is
join
just
you on,
formed from the smooth surface of the wall. It's like soft leather, almost. But go ahead.
if I'm to join you on this ship, I suppose there is one question. Which side is starboard? Eric remembers that something came crashing to the mountain, and he has a suspicion about where this is going. He made a pun.
Ayo. I don't think they pick up on that though. And one of them simply gestures this way. Beneath our feet is the front of the vessel. And then suddenly you are floating, sat in that chair again, impossibly comfortable as it matches every contour of your like memory foam. And underneath your feet there is a blinding light, 3 times as bright as the sun. You see black outlines of the trees in the grove as they are vaporized in an instant. Botch it. You two have just been floating, it feels like, as you've flown towards the library. As you're approaching that mountain where it's housed, just in the far distance at the top of Thanato, that light suddenly turns on and you're squinting at this new sun that balls up at the top of Thanato and starts rising slowly and then gaining speed faster and faster. Eric, you feel yourself pushed down into this seat. The light below you fades slightly. And the mountain gets smaller and smaller. You pass through clouds. You feel that you're moving across land at great speed. You see ocean beneath you.
I was on a plane earlier today.
Continents. And then suddenly everything goes dark. And except for the huge blue, white, green landscape below you. Curved, orb-like.
And they ascend into the stars?
And you ascend into the stars. It is time to go to sleep. We will continue accelerating. For us, 56 days shall pass. On your planet, it will have been 312 years. Ooh,
Eric will raise his eyebrows.
there is a speed limit to the universe. We are approaching it. As we approach this maximum speed that even the gods can achieve, time trickles and becomes relative and irrelevant. The blue landscape below you had disappeared so fast that you could barely remember it being there. You sailed past the moon in an instant, and as you travel further and further, all the lights in front of you suddenly begin to converge. They reach a single point directly ahead. No matter where you look, it's always there. And then they begin to stretch, forming a huge line from prograde to retrograde, a perfect horizontal horizon cut across, made from every light in the universe. And you feel yourself drift to sleep. To wake up 57 days older, 300 years later, 400 light years across the galaxy, in another place where the Tove left ruins and artifacts and people who no longer remember where they came from. And I think we can end it at that. No complaints. I'm Luke the GM. We had Jared.
Yep. Hey, I'm Jared. I played Eric. Eric Skywalker.
Mate, you are going at like 99% C right now. And we had Everoth.
Hello, I was Everett. Playing for you, Botchet, the healing old man.
Mate, you could have been Botch It solo. You could have been Botch It backer. But no. You gotta look after your friends.
Yes. For watching me play a Wookiee, look back on our Star Wars campaign, also in our library of shows.
Aye. It's kind of weird that they both finished around the same time, but aye. Thanks for watching. I had a lot of fun running this game, and stay tuned for Upsilon Transcending. That's what it's called. Bye. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.